But I do. Non è. Joe. So you know you do describe the names, your names, your name, and it's round two. Oh, no, round two. Yes. Hello. How are you? You the timer? Yeah. Okay. Is this one exempt or serious one? This is serious.
like words right. You words right. You just start the timer countdown. It's pretty. Yeah. Crystal. No. What? I think yeah. It's okay. You wanna go?
You're not the first one, right?
No. But we all sit here.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
We all just like sitting here.
Yeah.
Is this one like your story? Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I hope you don't put
I don't kiss them. And that's more than dates.
Oh, yeah. That way. This is not the right room. Are you in our room?
Oral intake. Serious oral intake.
Yes. Are you serious?
Yo, is this room 325?
Yep. Yeah.
Why? Doesn't it say for the judge, Bowman and Tamaroy?
Are you on the right day?
Thursday.
Yeah, she's.
Okay. Remember? I accidentally saw.
That's the wrong side.
It's like really the fashion phase.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take no pictures. I'm pretty sure you guys are right.
No, it's flight A, not flight C. This is flight B that you.
Not right.
I get there eventually. How many rounds do you go? 4 and then finals.
Oh, okay, go for it.
4 for each one.
year is sometime in the far future, and the children of the planet Venus are excited to finally see the sun after 7 years of constant rain. One of these excited children is Margot, who came from Earth and remembers the magic of sunshine. Will jealousy stop Margot from seeing sunlight again? All Summer in a Day by Ray Bradbury. Ready? Ready. Now? Soon. Do the scientists really know? Will it happen today? Will it? Look, see for yourself. The children pressed to each other like so many beads, intermixed, peering out for a look at the hidden sun. It rained. It had been raining for 7 years, thousands upon thousands of days compounded and filled from one end to the other with rain, with a drumming gush of water, with the sweet crystal falls of showers, and the concussion of storms so heavy they were tidal waves come over the islands. And this was the way life was forever on the planet Venus. And this was the schoolroom of the children, of the rocket men and women who had come to a raining world to set up civilization and live out their lives. It's stopping! It's stopping! Yes! Margot stood apart from them, from these children who could never remember a time when there wasn't rain and rain and rain. They were all 9 years old, and if there had been a day 7 years ago when the sun came out for an hour and showed its face to the stunned world, they could not recall. All day yesterday, they had read in class about the sun and how like a lemon it was and how hot, and they had written short stories or essays or poems about it. I think the sun is like a flower that blooms for just 1 hour. That was Margot's poem, read in a quiet voice in the classroom while the rain was falling outside. "Oh, you didn't write that," protested one of the boys. "I didn't," said Margot. "I didn't." But that was yesterday. Now the rain was slackening, and the children were crushed into great, thick windows. Margot stood alone. She was a very frail girl who looked as if she had been lost in the rain for years, and the rain had washed out the blue from her eyes, and the red from her mouth, and the yellow from her hair. Now she stood, separate, staring at the rain and the loud, wet world beyond the huge glass. "What are you looking at?" said William. Margot said nothing. "Speak when you're spoken to." He gave her a shove, but she did not move. And this was because she would play no games with them in the echoing tunnels of the underground city. And then, of course, the biggest crime of all was that she had come here only 5 years ago from Earth, and she remembered the sun and the way the sun was and the sky was when she was 4 in Ohio. And they had been on Venus all their lives, and they had been only 2 years old when last the sun came out and had long since forgotten the color and the heat of it and the way it really was. But Margot remembered. "It's like a penny," she said once, eyes closed. "No, it's not," the children cried. "It's like a fire," she said, "in the stove." "You're lying! You don't remember!" cried the children. But she remembered, and stood quietly apart from all of them and watched the parroting windows. And so the children hated her for all these reasons of big and little consequence. "Get away!" The boy gave her another push. "What are you waiting for?" Then, for the first time, she turned and looked at him, and what she was waiting for was in her eyes. "Well, don't wait around here," cried the boy savagely. "You won't see nothing. Nothing," he cried. "It was all a joke, wasn't it?" He turned to the other children. "Nothing's happening today, is it?" They all blinked at him, and then, understanding, laughed and shook their heads. Nothing! But this day is the day the scientists predict. They say they know the sun." "All a joke," said the boy. "Hey, everyone, let's put her in a closet before the teacher comes." "No," said Margot, falling back. They surged about her, caught her up and bore her, protesting, and then pleading, and then crying, back into a tunnel, a room, a closet, where they slammed and locked the door. They stood looking at the door and saw it tremble from her beating and throwing herself against it. They heard her muffled cries, then smiling. They turned and went out, back down the tunnel, just as the teacher arrived. "Ready, children?" She glanced at her watch. "Yes," said everyone. "Are we all here?" "Yes." The rain slapped still more. They crowded to the huge door. The rain stopped. The door slid back, and the smell of the silent waiting world came into them. The sun came out. It was the color of flaming bronze, and it was very large, and the sky around it was a blazing blue tile color. The children rushed out, yelling into the springtime. They were running and turning their faces to the sky and feeling the sun on their cheeks like a warm iron. They were taking off their jackets and letting the sun burn their arms. Oh, it's better than the sun lamps, isn't it? Much, much better. They ran among the trees, they slipped and fell, they pushed each other. They played hide and seek and tag, but most of all, they squinted at the sun until the tears ran down their faces. They looked at everything and savored everything. In the midst of their running, one of the girls wailed. Everyone stopped. The girl, standing in the open, held out her hand. Oh, look, look, she said trebly. They came slowly to look at her open palm. In the center of it, cupped and huge, was a single raindrop. She began to cry looking at it. They glanced quietly at the sun. Oh, oh. A few cold drops fell on their noses and their cheeks and their mouths. They stood in the doorway of the underground for a moment until it was raining hard. Then they closed the door and heard the gigantic sound of rain falling in tons and avalanches everywhere and forever. Then one of them gave a little cry. Margot! What? She's still in the closet where we locked her. Margot! They stood as if someone had driven them, like so many stakes, into the floor. They looked at each other and then looked away. Margot! They walked slowly down the hall to the sound of cold rain. They walked over to the closet door slowly and stood by it. Behind the closet door was only silence. They unlocked the door even more slowly and let Margot out.
Can you read the sign?
Yeah, of course. The author also?
Your time. 7:05.
My name is Zoe Webster, and I will be reading a script from The Giver. This dystopian novel by Lois Lowry depicts a seemingly utopian community that abolished memories like suffering and death, resulting in superficial experiences without emotions. At 11, Jonas becomes the new prestigious receiver, the sole person who holds vast memories. Mentored by the giver, the old receiver, Jonas starts recognizing the fallacies of the only community he and the society have known. One of these aspects is the euphemized practice of release. During one of the meetings with the giver, Jonas asked, "What happens when they make the actual release?" "I was only asking about release because my father is releasing a twin new child today. He has to select one and release the other one. They do it by weight. I think it was this morning." The release of a new child, which was troubling for the nurturers, who felt they had failed in life. The celebratory release of the elderly for a life well and fully lived. And for a third transgression, release is a final, terrible, disgraceful punishment. The giver asked, "Do you want to see this morning's release?" As Jonas watched the screen, he wondered if there was someone there waiting to receive a tiny new child. For a moment he felt a tiny, fluttering hope that in Belarsa, the old female he met earlier, waiting to receive the new child. He remembered her sparkling eyes, her soft voice, her low chuckle. Larissa had been released at a wonderful ceremony. Her life elsewhere would be quiet and serene, as befitted the old. Jonas could see a small windowless room on the screen, empty, except for a bed, a table with smoke opened on it, and a cupboard. It's just an ordinary room. I thought maybe they'd have an auditorium, so that everybody could come. Jonas's father, wearing his nurturing uniform, entered the room, cradling a tiny new child. A woman followed, carrying a second new child. That's my father. The two nurturers laid the identical newborns in the bed, and gently lifted one, and then the other to the scale and weighed them. Good. I thought for a moment that they might both weigh the same. Then we'd have a problem. But this one is 6 pounds even, so you can clean him up and dress him and take him over to the center. And you, little guy, you're only 5 pounds 10 ounces. A shrimp! That's the special voice he uses with Gabriel, the new child we care for. Watch. Now he cleans him up and makes him comfy. You told me once. Be quiet, Jonas. Watch. Jonas's father took out a syringe and a small bottle, and began very carefully to direct the needle into the top of the new child's forehead. The newborn squirmed and wailed faintly. Wesley, shh! I know, it hurts, little guy, but I have to use a vein, and the veins in your arms are still too teeny. All done. That wasn't so bad, was it? As he continued to watch, the new child, no longer crying, moved his arms and legs in a jerky motion. Then he went limp. His head fell to the side, his eyes half open. Then he was still. With an odd, shocked feeling, Jonas recognized the posture. He had seen it before, but he couldn't remember where. Jonas stared at the screen, waiting for something to happen. And nothing did. The little twin lay motionless. The memory that he received from the giver came back. Once again, he felt the choking sensation. Once again, he saw the face of the light-haired, bloody soldier as life left his eyes. Jonas continued to stare at the screen, numbly. His father opened a small door in the wall that looked like a chute into which trash was deposited. His father loaded the carton containing the body into the chute and gave it a shove. Well, there you are, Jonas. You were wondering about release. Jonas felt a ripping sensation of terrible pain clawing its way forward to emerge in a cry. He killed it! My father killed it! My father! My father! A murderer! A killer! The giver went to the wall speaker and clicked the switch to on to instruct the receptionist. Yes, receiver, how may I help you? Notify the new receiver straggle unit that he'll be staying with me tonight for additional training. I will take care of that, sir. Thank you for your instructions. I will take care of that, sir. I will do what you like, sir. I will kill people, sir. Small, newborn people? I'd be happy to kill them, sir. Thank you for your instructions, sir. How may I help? Listen to me, Jonas. They can't help it. They know nothing. It's the way they live. It's the life that was created for them. It's the same life that you would have had if you had not been chosen as my successor. He lied to me! It's what he was told to do. and she knows nothing else. Elise is always like that? They do that just to maintain the number of new children? For people who break the rules 3 times? For the old? Did they kill the rest of 2? Yes, it's true. The community did not eliminate them. They brought it home. Thank you. And the author as well?
Charlie suffered abuse as a child because of his severe learning difficulties. He was helped, however, by a surgery that made him more intelligent and emotionally stable. In the following excerpt, Charlie is trying to reconcile with the sad realization that the surgery has stopped working, and he is regressing. Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. Progress Report 17, October 3rd. Downhill. Thoughts of suicide to stop it all now, while I am still in control and aware of the world around me. But then I think of Charlie, waiting at the window. His life is not mine to throw away. I've just borrowed it for a while, and now I'm being asked to return it. I must remember, I'm the only person this has ever happened to. As long as I can, I've got to keep putting down my thoughts and feelings. These progress reports are Charlie Gordon kind. I have become edgy and irritable lately. I know I should sleep, but I begrudge every second of waking time. It's not just because of the nightmares, because I'm afraid of letting go. October 4th. Strangest therapy session I've ever had. What happened, I don't dare call it a memory, was a psychic experience or a hallucination. I won't attempt to explain or interpret it, but I'll only record what happened. I'll tell you something, I'm sick and tired of coming here. What's the sense of therapy anymore? You know as well as I do what's going to happen. I felt myself becoming lightheaded. My mind was a blank, and I felt isolated and empty. I feel strange. It's hard to explain. A feeling I've had once or twice before, just before I fainted. A lightheadedness, everything intense, but my body feels cold and numb. I have the feeling that Charlie is close by. My eyes are open, I'm sure of it, and yet I see a blue and white glow coming from the walls and the ceiling, gathering into a shimmering ball. Now it's suspended in midair, light forcing itself into my eyes, and my brain, everything in the room is aglow. I have the feeling of floating, or rather, expanding up and out, and yet, without looking down, I know my body is still here on the couch. Is this a hallucination? Charlie, are you all right? I shook my head. I'm all right. I think maybe that's all for today. I got up and swayed as I regained my perspective. Not only for today, I don't think I should have any more sessions. I don't want to see you anymore. October 5th. The doctor sent for me again this morning. To see what's happening deep down? What do you expect to find? I must have looked upset, because he started to back off. You don't have to. You're here voluntarily. If you don't want to. That's all right, go ahead. Deal out the cards, but don't tell me what you find out. You didn't have to. It's not valid. I know what you're looking for. I know the kind of responses I'm supposed to have to create a certain picture of what my mind is like. All I've got to do is... He looked up at me, waiting. All I've got to do is... But then it hit me, like a fist against the side of my head, that I didn't remember what I had to do. It was as if I'd been looking at the whole thing clearly on the blackboard of my mind, but when I turned to read it, part of it had been erased, and the rest didn't make any sense. At first, I refused to believe it. I went through the cards in a panic, so fast that I was choking on my own words. I wanted to tear the ink blots apart, to make them reveal themselves. Somewhere, in those ink blots, there were answers I had known just a little while ago. Not really in the ink blots, but in the part of my mind that would give form and meaning to them, and project my imprint on them. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't remember what I had to say. All missing. That's a woman, on her knees washing the floor. I mean, no, it's a man holding a knife. And even as I said it, I knew what I was saying, and I switched off and started in another direction. No, I mean, it's two faces staring at each other through the window, and I swept the cards off the table and got up. No more tests. I don't want to take any more tests. All right, Charlie, we'll stop for today. Not just for today. I'm not coming back here anymore. Whatever there is left in me that you need, you can get it from the progress reports. I'm through running the maze. I'm not a guinea pig anymore. I've done enough, and I want to be left alone now. All right, Charlie, I understand. No, you don't understand, because it isn't happening to you, and no one can understand but me. I don't blame you. You've got your job to do, and your PhD to get, and oh yes, don't tell me. I know you're in this largely out of your love of humanity, but you've still got your life to live, and we don't happen to belong on the same level. Don't you think you should talk to... Say goodbye to everyone for me, William. I don't feel like facing any of them ever again. Before he could say any more or try to stop me, I was out of the lab and I caught the elevator down and out of Beekman for the last time. October 7th. The doctor tried to see me again this morning, but I wouldn't open my door. I want to be left to myself now. It's a strange sensation to pick up a book you read and enjoyed just a few months ago and discover you don't remember it. I recall how wonderful I thought Milton was. When I picked up Paradise Lost, I could only remember it was about Adam and Eve and the Tree of Knowledge, but I couldn't make any sense of it. I stood up and closed my eyes and saw Charlie, myself, 6 or 7 years old, sitting at the dinner table with a school book, learning to read, saying words over and over, with my mother sitting beside me. Try it again! See Jack. See Jack run. See Jack see. No, not see Jack see, it's run Jack run! Pointing with her rough scrunched finger. See Jack run, run Jack see. No, you're not trying! Do it again! Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Leave the boy alone. You've got him terrified. He's got to learn. He's too lazy to concentrate. He's normal. There's nothing wrong with him. Just lazy. I'll beat it into him until he learns. Run, check, run. Run, check, run. Run, check, run. Run, check, run. And then, looking up from the table, it seems to me I saw myself through Charlie's eyes, holding Paradise Lost. And I realized I was breaking the binding with the pressure of both hands, as if I wanted to tear the book in half. I broke the back of it, ripped out a handful of pages, and flung them and the book across the room to the corner where the broken records were. I let it lay there. Its torn white tongues were laughing because I couldn't understand what they were saying. I've got to try to hold on to some of the things I've learned. Please, God, don't take me all the way.
Yeah, 7:49.
In this piece, as narrator Iron, she struggles to come to terms with her relationship with her now grown daughter Emily, the childhood illnesses, the separation anxiety, and Emily's missed potential. Here, she tries to reconcile the childhood Emily with the young woman she has now become. I Stand Here Ironing by Tilly Olsen. I stand here ironing, and what you ask me moves tormented back and forth with the iron. I wish you would make the time to come in and talk with me about your daughter. I'm sure you can help me understand her. She's a youngster who needs help and who I am deeply interested in helping. Who needs help? Even if I came, what good would it do? You think because I am her mother, I have a key, or that in some way you could use me as a key? She has lived for 19 years. There's all that life that has happened outside of me, beyond me. She was a beautiful baby. She blew shining bubbles of sound. She loved motion, loved light, loved color and music and textures. She would lie on the floor in her blue overalls, patting the surface so hard in ecstasy, her hands and feet would blur. She was a miracle to me, but when she was 8 months old, I had to leave her daytimes for the woman downstairs, to whom she was no miracle at all. She was 2, old enough for nursery school, they said, and I did not know then what I know now. The fatigue of the long day and the lacerations of group life in the kinds of nurseries that are only parking places for children. And even without knowing, I knew the teacher that was evil, because all these years it had curdled into my memory. The little boy hunched in the corner, her rasp. Why aren't you outside? Because Alvin hits you? That's no reason. Go out, scaredy. I knew Emily hated it, even if she did not clutch and implore, don't go, mommy, like the other children. She always had a reason why we should stay home. Mama, you look sick. Mama, I feel sick. Mama, the teachers aren't there today. They're sick. Mama, we can't go. There was a fire there last night. Mama, no school today. A holiday. They told me. But never a direct protest. Never rebellion. The old man living in the back once said in his gentle way, you should smile at Emily more when you look at her. What was in my face when I looked at her? I loved her. They were all acts of love. It was only with the others I remembered what he said, and it was the face of joy, not of care or tightness or worry when I turned to them. Too late for Emily. She does not smile easily. She had a new daddy now to learn to love, and I think perhaps it was a better time. Except when we left her alone nights, telling ourselves she was old enough. Can't you do some other time, Mommy? Like tomorrow? Will it just be a little while you'll be gone? Do you promise? The time we came back, the front door opened, the clock on the floor in the hall, she rigid and awake. It wasn't just a little while. I didn't cry. 3 times I called you, just 3 times, and then I ran downstairs to open the door so you could come faster. The clock talked loud. I threw it away. It scared me when it talked. She said the clock talked loud again. That night I went to the hospital to have Susan. Emily was delirious with the fever that comes before red measles. But she was fully conscious all the week I was gone, and the week after we were home when she could not come near the new baby or me. Emily did not get well. She stayed skeleton thin, not wanting to eat, and night after night she had nightmares. She would call for me, and I would rouse from exhaustion to sleepily call back. You're all right, darling. Go back to sleep. It's just a dream. And if she still called, in a sterner voice, now go to sleep, Emily. There's nothing to hurt you. Twice. Only twice. When I had to get up for Susan anyhow, I went in to sit with her. Now, when it is too late, I get up and go to her at once at her moan or restless stirring. Are you awake, Emily? Can I get you something? And the answer is always the same. No, I'm all right. Come back to sleep, Mother. They persuaded me at the clinic to send her away to a convalescent home in the country where she can have the kind of food and care you can't manage for her, and you'll be free to concentrate on the new baby. There was a tiny girl who always stood hand in hand with Emily. One visit, she was gone. They moved her to Rose Cottage! They don't let you love anybody here. It took us 8 months to get her released home, and only the fact that she gained back so little of her 7 lost pounds convinced the social worker. I used to try to hold her and love her when she came back, but her body would stay stiff, and after a while she would push away. She ate little. Food sickened her, and I think much of life too. Oh, she had physical lightness and brightness, twinkling by on skates, bouncing like a ball up and down over the jump rope, skimming over the hill. But these were momentary. School was a worry to her. She was not glib or quick in a world where glibness and quickness are easily confused with ability to learn. To her overworked and exasperated teachers, she was an overconscientious, slow learner who kept trying to catch up and was absent entirely too often. I let her be absent, though sometimes the illness was imaginary. Sometimes, to make me laugh or out of her despair, she would imitate happenings or types at school. I think I said once, "Why don't you do something like the school amateur show?" One morning, she phoned me at work, hardly understandable through the weeping. "Mother, I did it! I won! They gave me first prize! They clapped and wouldn't let me go!" Now, suddenly, she was somebody, and as imprisoned in her difference as she had been in anonymity. "Aren't you ever going to finish the ironing, Mother? Whistler painted his mother in a rocker. I'd have to paint mine standing over an ironing board." She has said it before, but because I have been dredging the past and all that compounds it, I cannot endure it tonight. I will never tell you it all. I will never come in to say she was a child seldom smiled at. She was dark and thin and foreign-looking in a world where the prestige went to blondness and curly hair and dimples. She was slow where glibness was prized. She was a child of anxious, not proud love. There were years she did not want me to touch her. My wisdom came too late. Let her be. So all that's in her will not bloom. But how many does it? There is still enough left to live by. Only help her to know that she is more than this dress on the ironing board, helpless before the iron. It is. The name's right on the program. 020. 020. Maya Shaw.
Maybe once they cut it off or something.
My name is Maya Shah, and I'm doing an excerpt from the book Wonder by R.J. Velasquez. This book is about August Burke, a 10-year-old boy who has a rare facial deformity. Due to this deformity, August has already had over 25 surgeries and as a result has had to be homeschooled. This excerpt is about August as he enters 5th grade in a normal school for the first time. I know I'm not an ordinary 10-year-old kid. I mean, sure, I do ordinary things like eating ice cream, riding my bike, and playing Xbox. And I feel ordinary inside. But I know ordinary kids don't make other ordinary kids run away screaming in playgrounds. I know ordinary kids don't get stared at wherever they go. If I found a magic lamp and I could have one wish, I would wish I had a normal face that no one ever noticed at all. Okay, so on the first day of school, I was so nervous, the butterflies in my stomach were more like pigeons flying around my insides. However, I didn't catch anyone staring or even noticing me. Yet, I knew I was the top of the school. I did my little thing of pretending not to notice. It was easy to be noticed to people, so you can act like you don't notice them. I quickly headed to my room and silently thanked the suggestion of the tour. In school, I hung out with Jack, who was one of the kids I met on the tour. We had a lot of classes together, and in each class, we were sitting next to each other. I remember feeling this was planned, but I decided to ignore it. I felt like Jack was a good friend, and he made me laugh. It was fun to have a friend, for once. However, apart from Jack and a girl named Summer, I had a hard time making new friends. No one wanted to be around me, and the kids had even started a game where if anyone touched me, they would have to wash their hands in 30 seconds, or they would catch the third grade. The school year went on, and in the spring, the 5th graders started preparing for their annual residential trip to the Broadwood Nature Reserve in Pennsylvania. The trip is for 3 days and 2 nights, and it's a 4-hour bus ride away. The kids stay in cabins and bunk beds, and there are campfires and s'mores and long walks to the woods. The teachers have been telling us about the trip all year long, so all the kids in the grade are excited, except for me. And it's not even that I'm not excited, because I kind of am. It's just that I've never stepped away from home before. I'm kind of nervous. The bus ride went really fast. I sat by the window when Jack was next to me in the aisle seat. Summer and Maya were in front of us. Everyone was in a good mood, kind of loud, laughing a lot. It was like that for the whole trip, which flew by so quickly. Soon, it was a much anticipated movie night, where all the schools would gather in a large cornfield to watch a movie together. We were waiting for the other schools to come, and just then, without any announcement, all the lights at the end of the field went on at once. The announcement came over huge speakers. Welcome to the 23rd annual Big Movie Night at the Broadwood Nature Reserve. Welcome, teachers and students from all schools. A big cheer went up across the field. After the movie is over, it will be quite dark, so I ask all of you to stay with your schools as you make your way back to the buses. Tonight's movie presentation will be The Sound of Music. Instantly, I smiled, remembering that this is my sister's favorite movie. We headed in the direction of the giant screen, and that's when we walked straight into a group of kids we didn't know. They'd just come out of the woods, and I'm sure they were doing stuff they did not want their teachers to know. I could smell the smoke now, the smell of both firecrackers and cigarettes. They pointed their flashlights straight at us. We were 6 of them, 4 boys and 2 girls. They looked like they were in the 7th grade. What school are you from? One of the boys called out. Teacher Brad, Jack started to answer, when all of a sudden one of the girls started screaming. Oh my god! Oh my god! She shrieked, holding her hand over her eyes like she was crying. I figured maybe a huge bug had just flown into her face or something. All of them started half laughing, half covering their eyes now, pushing each other and cursing loudly. What is that? Said the kid who was pointing a flashlight at us. It was only then that I realized the flashlight was pointed right at my face. And what they were talking about, screaming about, was me. Let's get out of here, Jack said to me quietly, and he pulled me by my sweatshirt sleeve and started walking away from them. Wait! Yelled the guy with the flashlight, cutting us off. He pointed the flashlight right in my face again. Now he was only about 5 feet away. Oh man, he said, shaking his head, his mouth wide open. What happened to your face? Stop it, Eddie, said one of the girls.
I didn't know we were watching Lord of the Rings tonight, he said. Look, guys, it's Gollum.
This made his friends hysterical. Again, we tried to walk away from them, and again the kid named Eddie cut us off. He was at least a head taller than Jack, who was about a head taller than me, so the guy looked huge to me.
No, man, it's alien, said one of the other kids.
No, man, it's an orc, laughed Eddie, pointing the flashlight at my face again. This time, he was right in front of us. Leave him alone, okay? Said Jack, pushing my hand, holding the flashlight away.
Make me, answered Eddie.
Pointing the flashlight in Jack's face now. What's your problem, dude? Said Jack.
Your boyfriend's my problem.
Jack, let's just go, I said, pulling him by the arm.
Oh man, it talks,
Screamed Eddie, shining the flashlight in my face again. Then one of the other guys threw a firecracker at our feet. Jack tried to push past Eddie, but Eddie shoved his hands into Jack's shoulders and pushed him hard. Jack fell backwards. Look, I said, stepping in front of Jack, holding my hands up in the air like a traffic cop. We're a lot smaller than you guys.
Are you talking to me, Freddy Krueger? Because I don't think you want to mess with me, you ugly freak,
Said Eddie. This was the point where I knew I should run away as fast as I could. But Jack was still on the ground, and I was not about to leave him. Then, out of the blue, the Eddie guy grabbed my hood as I passed by him, yanking it really hard so I was pulled backwards and fell flat on my back. It was a hard fall, and I hurt my elbow pretty bad on a rock. I couldn't really see what happened afterwards, except for the screams from Jack and me, attracted other boys from our school. And that's when all hell broke loose.
You can leave if you want. Thank you.
Thank you. Good day.
Thank you so much.
You know what time the So my hair.
I mean, underneath the floorboard is getting a
Oh, no.
Jesus.
Look, I can cut it on that day. That's it. All right.
Not mine,